Hello, all my crafty friends. I'm so happy to be here with you today with Junk Journal Toy Challenge. Lovely and talented Francesca asked me to join this, and I was so thrilled to be part of it. I love junk journaling and I love her projects, so of course I decided to take part. Here I have my journal I made some time ago. It's definitely one of my favorite journals I have made so far. And here I'm picking a page for today's layout. I decided to do a layout, and because the prompt of the challenge is use your scraps, I decided to make some kind of layout with clusters. Here I start to make the background. I use Tim Holtz stencil. I link all the items I use below, so you can check out if you're interested on something. I use texture paste, crackle paste, in fact, and I decided to put it on both pages. I always try to make thin layers when I use paste, so that it's very sharp image you get. And thing is with the crackle paste is that you should let it air dry to get better crackles. Then it's time to select which scraps I want to use, and oh my, there's so many of those. I rarely put pieces into trash bin. I always save everything, and I think many of us do that too. I picked some vintage papers and some scrapbook paper. I speed up the process because this would be a very long video otherwise. I just start building the cluster with all my pieces and distress edges, and put a little bit ink also. I love very shabby and worn look in my journals, and as you can see, I tear a lot of my papers. I rarely use scissors in my crafts. I just love the look I get when I tear the paper. For me, journaling is definitely a way of meditation. I love to create journals and, in fact, all crafts. It's time for myself. It's about the creative process, not necessarily about the end result itself. I just enjoy it so much, and I believe many of you also feel the same way. As a focal point, I decided to use some stamping. The stamp set I used here is from Paper Garden. It's a Finnish brand, and they make their own stamp sets. I love this swan here, so I decided to use that one. decided I need some more elements for my cluster, and scraps of lace is always a good idea. I just love lace, you know, vintage paper, vintage lace. Nothing's better than that in general. So here I took some old pieces from earlier projects, or maybe, and I found this ticket I have stamped on some kind of fabric piece. I think stamping on fabric looks really nice. Here I'm trying to figure out how I place the cluster on the page and how I use the other elements. And here is finished cluster. So now we can concentrate on making the background. The crackled paste is now totally dried and you can see the crackles, but I want them to show even more. So I decided to give a little bit distressed color for it, and here I use distressed crayon. I think this is ground espresso, yeah, the color, and I use a little bit of water and the crayon, and then with my finger I just spread it over the texture paste. This way all the crackles will show more, because the crayon will go into the crackles and show up, but yet still it is quite subtle color, so it's not too dark. This is definitely one of my favorite techniques I use almost in all my journals. And here you can see the end result. I decided to glue the cluster on the left side page, but I only glue it from the other side, so underneath the lace there's a little bit of space, so I can maybe hide there some kind of tiny journaling card, or maybe a note if I want later to write in my journals. I don't always write in my journals. I do more these art journal type of layouts, but I always leave a bit room if I want to write something later. And on the other page, I decided to glue down this, I think this is like maybe 49 and market or something like that, die cut piece, from some set, I think. It replicates lace, but it's actually just paper. I felt like the other page needs a little bit more darker in background, because I'm going to put there an element with some kind of quote, so I wanted to like it more pop up from the page. I used the gesso by putting it on my hand first, because it dries a little bit, so it's easier to spread on this page, and I can manage to make a really thin layer. On the gesso, I spread again some distressed crayon, and it gives very nice and vintage look for the page, but yet it's very soft, so it doesn't pop up too much. theme of this journal is I dream, so I decided to take dream quote that I use in this page. Other thing I love to do in my journals is make splatters of white or black or any kind of paint really. Here I use Stabilo Woody crayon to give very, very subtle white splatters. They really don't pick up in the camera at all, but it's very delicate white, so it doesn't take too much space of all the elements on the page. I decided also use Posca marker in beige color to make a little bit more visible splatters, but because it's a very similar color as the background, it's very subtle also. But I think that splatters always give a little bit depth to the page and looks more finished. Here is the finished page. I hope you enjoyed the process and loved the outcome, and I hope you get inspired of my layout and check out Francesca's channel if you haven't already, and also other very talented artists